What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the channel. We are here to review Evolution 2, technically. Evolution 1 was way back in 2018. Evolution 2 is the all-women's pay-per-view, PLE, whatever you want to call them. The way WWE refers to them as PLEs, Premier Live Events. All women on the card. It is way past time for us to actually have one of these. Personally, I think we should have one every year, especially with the way this one went. I would love to know what you guys think about this as a whole in terms of like maybe doing these things yearly. I think it's a great idea. Put this bitch right at the beginning of summer or midsummer, just like this one. I think it's a great sort of pretense to SummerSlam. Kind of gets you in the mood, and the women have something to prove, and they fucking did in this show. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I knew that this show was going to be good. I did not expect it to absolutely blow away my expectations. Now, of course, everyone is a tougher critic than others. As always, we have our ratings here, 10 through 0. Rob's ratings on the side there. He rates things A through F. 10 and a 9 is an A. 8 and 7 is a B. 6 through 4 is a C. C plus, C, C minus. 3 and 2 is a D. And a 1 and 0 is an F. And of course we have Kane. Kane is finally back with his reviews as well. Over there at the top, I will be rotating those in between each review. Of course, this was actually a 7-match card, so old Mr. H was trying to mix things up here a little bit, and personally, I think he might have found the sweet spot, because this didn't seem like it was an extremely long pay-per-view, but it also wasn't a super short pay-per-view. And the main event was a 30-minute classic. We'll get into that in a second as well. We're going to start things off, though, with honestly a match that blew me away, which is the triple threat for the women's Intercontinental title match between Becky Lynch, who was the champion, who ended up winning this match, Lyra, and Bayley. Listen, I cannot begin to explain how much I loved this match. I was very hesitant to give it the score that I gave it. I gave this match a 10 out of 10. And I was very hesitant to do so early in the night, because I knew if I gave this match a 10, then it would set an unfair precedent for every single match that followed it. And somehow, some way, the main event outdid it. We'll get into that in a second. But I loved this match. I thought all three of them were excellent. I thought all three of them showed out. I thought everyone had great offense, great defense, great selling, great interactions, great counters, great flow. There was never a down moment. Everyone got involved. There was great 1v1 action, great 2v1 action, great all-around triple threat action. I thought that everyone was very creative. I thought the finish was creative. There was some people that I saw giving it like 4.5, 4.75, mostly because it ended in a roll-up, but it ended in one of the most creative roll-ups I think we've ever seen, with that back cradle out of a pin. That requires so much timing and technique. I'm totally fine with this ending in a roll-up, personally. Becky Lynch, of course, retains it. I do think Lyra is going to take it at SummerSlam. I am recording this literally right after Raw ended. But I still think this match was an absolute gem. I gave this match a 10 out of 10. Rob over there gave it an A, so he agrees with me here that this match is an absolute banger of a match. Kane slightly disagrees, but I think he might disagree mostly because of the same reasons I said. It's a little bit too early to give this match a 10, but it's just hard not to. Kane said, a really hot opener for Evolution. Becky and Lyra continue to have excellent chemistry together, and the addition of Bayley, as expected, has only continued the success of this title's establishment in WWE. Really solid action that showcased all women well, and a finish that allows for some continuation of the feud, while also developing the more desperate and conniving side to Becky's character. He gave this match an 8 out of 10. Me and Rob both gave it 10s. Dividing it by 3 is going to make this a 9.33, so it is going to end up averaging out to a 9. But I think that's still okay. Again, assuming that you don't want to go too far with the first match and outdo everything that comes after it. But I tell you what, it was very hard to follow this match. But the match that did follow it did absolutely everything it could. And that match was the NXT Women's Championship match between Jacy Jayne and Jordynne Grace. Blake Monroe, of course, was in Jordynne Grace's corner. Toxic Attraction or Fatal Attraction? Are they Fatal Influence? I don't know what they're... I'll be honest. I don't watch NXT as much as I wish I did, mostly because I usually stream on Tuesday nights. So I don't usually get to watch NXT. I usually watch the replay. So I'll be honest. I don't know too much about the faction, but I do know that I've always viewed Jacy Jayne as kind of a B-plus talent. And I've always been very interested to see if she could finally take that next step to really say that she has earned this NXT Women's title. This match showed that she has. I was so thoroughly impressed with this match between these two. I legitimately thought that this was Jacy Jayne's best match she's had. I don't think that's a hot take to say that this is Jacy Jayne's best match so far. Jordynne Grace is absolutely electric. I absolutely love her. I loved her with TNA. I was so excited when she signed with WWE. I knew that we were going to get these type of performances. Jordynne Grace will win the title, but not today. Blake Monroe ends up betraying her. She was Mariah May in AEW. Everyone remembers her from that fucking amazing match with Toni Storm, the Hollywood ending match. In my opinion, one of the best women's matches in general until today's this show's main event happens. But absolutely excellent. I can't wait to see Blake Monroe as a villain. She is best as a heel, and Jordynne Grace is going to be best as the top babyface of NXT. I'm so excited for that feud. And since I'm not streaming tomorrow because I'm packing for a move next weekend, I may have to watch NXT. I can't wait to see where they go from here with that one. But as far as this match is concerned, I thought Jacy Jayne looked excellent. Jordynne Grace sold her ass off. She had great offense. It was a great back and forth. Exactly what this match needed to be. It needed to be a great showcase for NXT as a whole. So people like myself that now all of a sudden have a Tuesday open are going to want to tune in to NXT. This match did exactly what it needed to do, and I thought that it was great to give Jacy Jayne a huge win over Jordynne Grace, albeit with the title to the back by Blake Monroe. Jacy Jayne still held her own for the rest of the match, so it doesn't hurt her win for me. Having Blake Monroe betray her like it did. I gave this match I believe I gave it a 7 if my thing wants to load. Yes, I gave this match a 7 out of 10. Rob gave this match a B. So we'll go ahead and say that that's a 7 as well. Up here with Kane, it still baffles me that we don't get more NXT showcase matches on main roster shows. The talent pool in NXT, and that the talent pool in NXT is excellent. Boy, I can't read. And that added experience of working a larger crowd instead of the Performance Center just makes sense to me for their continued development and advertising for the brand. This match was a perfect example as to why this should happen more often. It struggled in the opening stages due to the relative unfamiliarity that the main roster crowd had with the women involved. Blake Monroe, AEW's Mariah May, as Grace's side, getting the largest reaction of the bunch. The match itself was solid and a good way to showcase Jayne and her continued development and the unique presence that is Grace. Monroe's turn was admittedly expected. Some would say it was too soon. I'd say it's Mariah May. Let's not waste our time here. Let that lady be evil. He gave it a 6 out of 10. I do believe me and Rob's 7 is going to balance out here to make this match a 7 out of 10 on this scale. And I think that's a very good spot for it to be. 6, if you wanted to give it a 3 star, 6 match, I think a 3.5 star match is perfectly adequate for this one. I could have maybe heard the case of giving it an 8, but I do agree with Kane. The beginning was a little bit slow. And it's NXT. It's kind of hard to rate NXT super high unless it is a strictly NXT pay-per-view, which unfortunately I didn't watch Great American Bash live, so can't really accurately give that a rating since I've seen how all the matches end. So I lose that bit of surprise. Otherwise, I'd be reviewing that as well. Next up, we have the tag title fatal 4-way between the Kabuki Warriors, Soruka, and Zarya, versus Charlexa, as everyone is calling them, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, and the Judgment Days, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. Personally, I was so thoroughly impressed by this fucking match. I thought everyone played off each other excellently. I thought everyone got to showcase themselves excellently. I thought Asuka is definitely knocking the ring rust off. She looked excellent in this match. Kairi Sane looked excellent in this match. Definitely is kind of clearing out the mental funk of being involved in those two injuries. I thought this was finally the main roster's chance. Again, like we mentioned previously with NXT, this was the main roster's chance to see Sol Ruca and Zarya in action. I'm telling you right now, Sol Ruca is absolutely ready to be on the main roster. Zarya might need a little bit more seasoning, and if you want to keep the two of them as a tag team for a while, of course, it's going to involve keeping Sol in NXT. She is also the NXT North American champion, so she's going to have to be in NXT for a while anyway. But I'm really interested to see how long they keep this Zarya-Sol Ruca pairing going, because unless you're planning on calling them both up, and I think it might be a little bit too early to call Zarya up, you're going to have to split them, because Sol Ruca is absolutely, unequivocally, 110% main roster ready, in my opinion. She does not need to win the Women's NXT Championship. She doesn't need it. I'm sure she would like it. She doesn't need it. She is absolutely main roster ready, and this title reign so far is confirming it. And I thought she looked excellent here, and you could really tell that Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss and Raquel Rodriguez and Kairi Sane and Asuka were so excited to wrestle her. I left out Roxanne there because Roxanne and her have fought before in NXT, so you know that they're excited to be back together. But the fact that the veterans kind of took to Roxanne, took to Sol Ruca, took to Zarya, let them get their offense out, made them look excellent. That Soul Snatcher is one of my favorite finishers right now, and Charlotte sold that shit like it killed her, and I loved it. Overall, the Judgment Day win, they needed this win. I think they're probably going to hold the titles, honestly, probably through SummerSlam until Liv Morgan comes back. Unless Liv Morgan is the reason they lose them. That would be an interesting story beat. But until Liv Morgan is able to come back, this is where we're going to have to be with it. And I'm completely fine with the two of them winning. I agree with Rob here. I gave this match a 7 out of 10. Kane also gave this match a 7 out of 10. Rob gave it a B as well. So a 7 out of 10 is where this match is going to go. But let's see what Kane said here. A very fun match. Very weird seeing Charlotte over in the year of our Lord 2025, but very fun. I think it's clear that they see big things in Zarya's future, as both her and Sol Ruca got a lot of time to shine, and rightfully so. A show title evolution should be giving the future of the division that rub. They held their own against some of the most established stars in the division today. The continued development of the love-hate relationship between Roxanne and Raquel is great, and having them to retain was the correct choice. 7 out of 10. So, again, Kane is kind of on the same boat as I am. This is still too early to pull the trigger on a title change. I can see Charlexa, as everyone's calling them, winning those titles at SummerSlam, perhaps. But overall, this match was exactly what I was hoping it would be. A 7 out of 10 match is absolutely excellent. I also really liked the placement of this match. Of course, the NXT Women's Championship match kind of got the unfortunate courtesy of following that amazing triple threat match. This match following that match was a much better place in the card for it. Made it so it didn't feel like it got lost in the shuffle. And, of course, again, set another emotional high. You kind of want that bell curve to be going on. And so, we will continue. On to a match that, honestly, I was really shocked by. It's probably the match that I was least excited about on this card. And that's Trish Stratus versus Tiffany Stratton. Now, listen, some of my... I don't want to say detest, but some of my lack of interest in Tiffany Stratton right now is not her fault. She has been damaged by repetitive feuds, although every match between her and Nia has been absolutely phenomenal. It's the only person she seems to fucking wrestle. Charlotte Flair stocks have never been lower for me before she hooked up with Alexa Bliss, because of how she handled that entire WrestleMania build and the WrestleMania match itself. I was been very vocal about that. I've also been very vocal that Tiffany Stratton's stocks have never been lower for me. And then you bring in Trish Stratus, who is a legend in the business and definitely can see why she's on the Evolution card to showcase the past of the women's evolution, if you will. But it felt like a match that was thrown together for no real reason, and there was no chemistry here going in. And then they made me shut the fuck up and showed that they have excellent chemistry and looked fucking amazing. And Trish Stratus could probably go full-time like Nikki Bella is. Because holy shit, She was amazing. She pulled out moves she's never pulled out. Tiffany was finally fighting someone she could lift. And again, that's no disrespect to Nia Jax. Nia Jax is still a bigger woman. Tiffany Stratton cannot lift her. Most women can't. That is not, again, an insult. It's just kind of how her wrestling build is. Tiffany Stratton could finally wrestle someone she could actually lift and throw around a little bit, which allowed her to open up her kind of moveset to moves we've never seen her before. That suplex knee drop that she did, I've never seen her hit that before. Maybe she just pulled it out today because she's fighting Trish Stratus. I don't know. This match blew me away. I was so thoroughly impressed by it. My expectations were in the floor when this happened. I was so happy to give this match a 7 out of 10. Rob agrees, gave this match a B-, so a 7 out of 10 as well. Kane up there said, I was skeptical going into this match. Trish being retired and only coming back for infrequent runs, combined with Tiffy only having a few years under her belt, made me unsure of what to expect when it came to quality, but I was pleasantly surprised. Was it a technical masterclass? No. But both women looked really solid, and Tiffany was given a standing ovation for her performance after the fact. I completely agree with Kane here, as I kind of said as well. I came in with very low expectations, was blown away by both women. I would not be against Trish Stratus having one last run, and I agree, a 7 out of 10 is probably exactly where this match should probably go. Next up, we have a match that I was so looking forward to, and my god, did it show out, which of course you're probably seeing is a very common theme for a lot of these matches here, and that was Jade Cargill versus Naomi in a no-holds-barred match. I loved this fucking match. In my opinion, this match was twice as good as the WrestleMania bout. And of course, we'll come back to it later on, but if Jade versus Naomi 3 is at Crown Jewel for that Crown Jewel Championship match, holy shit, dog. That might be show stealer. Jade Cargill, of course, is the Queen of the Ring, so she will face Tiffany Stratton, since Tiffany Stratton won at SummerSlam in 19 days, as of the day that I am filming this, which is technically Monday night at 11:30, as you can see. But yeah, I thought this match was excellent. It's exactly what both women needed. Naomi looked lethal. She was beating the shit out of her. Jade absolutely had her offense in as well. A bit of a one-sided match, but I didn't mind that given the context of the fact that we don't see Jade Cargill take a lot of bumps. And Naomi forced her to take a ton of bumps. This was Jade Cargill showing that she could take offense. She could take punishment. She can be a champion. She can overcome. This is Jade Cargill's babyface coming out, and she's going to need that if she's going to actually stand a chance against Tiffany Stratton. And if they do pull the trigger, and they do put the belt on Jade Cargill at SummerSlam, she needed a match like this to show that she can actually carry a match. And she did it. This was an important match not just for the Naomi-Jade rivalry, but this was an important match for Naomi to showcase that she could lead a match, and Jade for showing that she could go with the match, go with the flow, and then come back at the end and still make all of it look good. When you're taking heavy bumps like this, your participation in protecting the person hitting you with the move is just as important as the person hitting the move. Naomi trusted Jade, and Jade showed out. This, in my opinion, was probably Jade's best match that she's ever had. I gave this match an 8 out of 10. As you can see over there, Rob agrees, gave this match a high B, an 8 out of 10 as well. Kane disagreed with us a little bit here on his ratings. Said, I'm somewhat mixed on this match. On one hand, I really enjoyed the heat and the hatred that both women portrayed physically throughout the match, and it was a good change of pace to see this kind of match given to the women's division, as it's normally reserved for the men's blood feuds in WWE. However, the match was a little plodding at points, with a long time setting up spots, letting that heat die down too much. Bianca was also kind of pointless in this match. I can understand that she was a part of the initial kickoff to this feud, but it didn't really play into the match at all. There was no conflict of interest or much interaction at all. I'll be honest, I kind of forgot Bianca was the guest referee, so I can very much see his point here. And a little disappointing. Cargill won with the Jade through the table. Pretty unique to see a front bump through a table. Don't see that often. 6 out of 10. I think he took off a lot of points because of the plotting and Bianca Belair just kind of being there. Which Bianca Belair, her fingers were still taped. She is still injured. She wanted to be a part of Evolution. This is how they made her part of Evolution. But again, yes, you made her part of Evolution. You could have made her a bigger part of the match. You didn't. It's whatever. It's done with. But yeah, he gave it a 6 out of 10. I don't know if that's going to actually change it off of the 8 that me and Rob gave it, but let's find out. It is. It is going to put this match at a 7. It's going to put this match at a 7.33. So, a little bit overruled there as far as me and Rob are concerned, but still, a 7 is not bad. We will take it. Again, as you can tell, kind of a common theme with this pay-per-view. Great matches. We are going to move on to the Women's Battle Royal. The winner of this match is going to get a championship match at Clash of Paris. Initially, they just said a championship. They have confirmed as of tonight, again, I'm recording this after Raw, they have confirmed tonight that she will face, effectively, the winner of Naomi, Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley at Clash of Paris. She will face the winner of that match. I personally hope it's Naomi. I just want to see new feuds, and I think Stephanie Vaquer versus Naomi would slap hard. But regardless, this Battle Royale, it was a little bit weird for me because, on one hand, thoroughly enjoyed it. Excellent match. I had a lot of fun with it. But they had made some questionable decisions. I don't like that they eliminated Tatum Paxley so quickly. Like, literally off the jump, Tatum Paxley's eliminated. She's been getting the shit into the stick for so long. I don't know if she survives the next cuts, and I hate it because I love her character work, and she's a damn good wrestler. I don't think she survives the cuts. It seems like they don't know what to do with her. And it sucks because, again, I love the character. I love her work. For some reason, the upper echelon of WWE brass just doesn't seem to like it. I thought the NXT stars that got a chance to shine absolutely shined. Lash Legend, MVP of the match in my opinion. I thought she was excellent. Kalani Jordan was excellent. Nikki Bella got to knock the rust off. I love the Julia and Stephanie Vaquer spots. And I think the right person won. I like the fact that Stephanie Vaquer won. I'm very excited about the concept of that title match. I don't think she should win. But I do think it's going to be a good match. Stephanie's got such a long career ahead of her. She doesn't need to win her first title right off the rip. I think we can hold off on that one a little bit. Maybe even throw some shenanigans in there, give or take a little bit here. But ultimately, I think the right person won. I was shocked to see no surprises. Paige had been rumored. AJ Lee had been rumored. All the legends were shown outside in the crowd, not in the match, outside of Nikki Bella, who's now technically back full-time. So, it was an interesting contest. Again, nothing necessarily to write home about. Rob gave it a B. Kane gave it a 6. I actually gave this match a 7. So I think a 7 is probably where this is going to end up going. Because I think it's going to come out to like a 6.773. So it is going to end up averaging out to a 7. A lot of NXT, Kane's review is a lot of NXT talent in this match, which you'd love to see, but there was really only one winner. Let's be real. Not much to say. Standard Battle Royal affair overall. Lash Legend with another excellent showcase. A lot of potential there in the future, for sure, but it was always going to be Vaquer. I agree. I think this is probably the most predictable match. If it was anyone other than Vaquer, that would have been the shock. I wouldn't have complained if, say, Lash Legend won, and I definitely didn't want to see Nia Jax in the title picture again already, but I think putting this at a 7 between me and Rob, and then Kane 6, bringing it down to that 6.77, but it's going to average out to the 7. But out of all of these matches so far, it's probably the worst, quote-unquote, because everything else kind of got put at that 7 because of where it ended up landing at on the roster there. So, probably the worst match of the night, but holy shit, I cannot wait to talk about the main event. And we're going to ignore the little minus sign on Rob's fucking review here because me and him have already had a long chat about this. Holy shit, Kane wrote a lot about this one. The next up we have Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky, and in my opinion, not only women's match of the year, women's match of the decade. This match is a classic that we will be talking about for many, many, many years to come. This match cemented Rhea Ripley and Io Sky as perennial main eventers, in my opinion. I think a lot of people online would have been more pissed off about the SummerSlam match being a straight-up triple threat match between Io, Rhea, and Naomi. But they can't be pissed off because they know Rhea Ripley earned it. Rhea and Io are wrestling soulmates, and they put on a match that had me absolutely floored. They put on a match that was so intriguing, so much fun, so good, so well planned, so well executed, so well booked. The chemistry was so well done. Everything was such a beautiful flow and back and forth, and it was just beautiful. I forgot Naomi even existed. I forgot a cash-in was even possible. I didn't even consider it. I was so enthralled in this match that when Naomi's music hit, I almost pissed my pants. I leapt out of my chair. I had to stifle screams because Rob and Vic were watching in the living room and they were like 5 seconds behind me and I didn't want to spoil it for them. But I was so blown away, I didn't even consider the concept of a cash-in. And a lot of people are saying, oh, the cash-in brought the match down. No, the cash-in cemented this match as a never-forget moment. It's the best women's cash-in that they've ever had. This was excellent. You have a 5-star, I'd argue if Dave Meltzer wants to crack out a 6-star, he probably could, classic on your hands that we'll talk about forever, and then it's capped off with Naomi finally getting what she deserves with the championship belt above her head. Fuck yes, I love this. I have no problem with it whatsoever. This is an 11 out of 10 for me. I don't ever put 11s on here, and I'm not going to make an exception now, but I refuse to put this match at not a 10 out of 10. I know Rob gave it a 9, and he gave it a 9 because he thought it came just under their triple threat at WrestleMania between Bianca, Rhea, and Io, and I respect his opinion here. Me and Kane both gave it a 10. It is going to override it to a 10. But regardless, I don't see how you could put this match anywhere less. Even if you prefer the WrestleMania match, I still don't see how you can put this below a 10. Unless you're racist and are just really upset that Naomi cashed in her Money in the briefcase. Because that's really the only reason I can see why you would be upset about this match whatsoever. Kane over here wrote me a book here, so let's see what Kane said. This match was truly sensational, to the point of needing to watch it a second time to write notes. This is an easy match of the year contender. Sky and Ripley have incredible chemistry together and among the very best women in wrestling today, if not ever. I agree with that 110%. Io Sky will always be my favorite, even if she's a bad guy, good guy, it doesn't matter. Io Sky will be my absolute favorite. Fast-paced, lots of counters and character work as Rhea took an antagonistic role in the match, leading into her aggression. And then it happened. Naomi was arguably the first genuinely surprising cash-in since Rollins a whole decade prior, taking advantage of the exhausted champion and challenger to cash in her Money in the Bank and steal the title, becoming the new women's champion. A brilliant twist to what many had deemed a foregone conclusion of a cash-in and an exceptional end to an exceptional match. It may not have been my highlight of the weekend, but damn it, this is an all-timer of a bout and the latest example why WWE needs to stop forgetting about their women's division every couple of weeks. Now, I will say this, bravo to WWE for kind of keeping this momentum going. Monday Night Raw, the first hour and 15 minutes, all women. I enjoyed it. It's definitely what they need to do more often. The women can tell great stories. The women can put on great matches. Sometimes the women put on better matches than the men. And we've seen that time and time again during these reviews. The women matches are my highest rated matches. But it almost seems like the women are told not to go so hard because they're going to outshadow the men. They didn't have that problem in this fucking pay-per-view, and it showed. There was no men to not outshadow, and they fucking excelled. Not a single match. When was the last time that I have done one of these, and not a single... Sorry, Kane, you're blocking my 10. Not a single match below a 7. I can't remember the last time that I did one of these and had no matches below a 7. This is absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, I don't even have to do the averages to realize that this is absolutely, unequivocally the pay-per-view of the year. I will still average this thing out, though. I know we have 110, 19, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 7s. Divide that by 7, we have a 7.714. So the average, if you want to round it up, the average of this pay-per-view is still an 8. But you don't need to. 7.71 is absolutely exceptional. Beautiful match, beautiful show, beautiful main event, beautiful opener, excellent storytelling across the board. For a show that had such a shitty build, and almost seemed like the deck was intentionally stacked up against them the entire night. I thought they absolutely nailed it. I loved every single minute of this, and I'm really hoping that Triple H realizes how much we like this, realized how good they did, and continues to make them in the forefront because they deserve it, and it's excellent, and they can do it. Just trust them to fucking do it. That's it. End of discussion. Guys, I'd love to hear what you think down below. Let me know what you thought of Evolution. What was your match of the night? And do you agree with my declaration that Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley at Evolution 2 is more than likely going to win Best Match of the Year? Let me know down below, and you all have a fantastic night.